Today's video is brought to us by Aventon. Aventon manufactures all of the components on their bikes versus competitors who assemble their bikes piece by piece from other people's products. Aventon's frames are built to be compatible with most standard bicycle accessories, making it super easy to customize your e-bike with all the bells and whistles without breaking your pocket. Aventon's roots lie in high-performance cycling with a reputation for disrupting the market by providing top-tier products at an attainable price. Aventon makes a wide variety of e-bikes and accessories. I have an Aventon Adventure and I absolutely love it. So do my kids. They try to take it every chance they get. And if you haven't seen my review for it, check it out on the channel. I really enjoy my Aventon bike and I know you will too. Thank you to Aventon for sponsoring this video. And if you're interested in getting your own Aventon bike or to learn more, there's a link in the description and in the pinned comment. Now on to today's video. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. With all of the pressure and attention at the national level, what we're not seeing is the pressure and effects that are going on at the state level. Several states have launched a new anti-gun attack. I've covered New York. Recently, we've covered Washington State. New Jersey's doing it. Delaware's doing it. Rhode Island's doing it. And Texas is doing it. That's right, one of, if not the most gun-friendly state in the union. I know everybody from other parts of the country are going to say, my state, we get the point, you know what I mean? But a bipartisan group of city mayors are demanding that the governor, Greg Abbott, take up a special session on gun control. And they're asking for some crazy stuff. On screen is a letter from the Texas big city mayors. And you can see right here, the big city mayors is a bipartisan coalition of mayors from our state's most populous cities, and they're calling upon the state leadership to take immediate action to prevent the next mass shooting in Texas. Now, guys and gals, we all know that there is not a single law on the books that one could think of, that one could pass, that will ever stop a criminal from doing criminal things. You can't legislate the evil in people's hearts and minds. You can't do it. There's not a law that would have prevented any of the issues prior, nor any of the issues going forward. You just can't legislate the evil in people's hearts and minds. Back to the letter. We represent a continuum of political ideology and have come together because we know most Texans have a strong desire for common sense reform to protect our children. As mayors, we believe the legislature and executive leaders can come together to find the right solutions for Texas. This comes hot on the heels of Matthew McConaughey crying at the White House, and he's just released a whole bunch of money to anti-gun groups to try to get them to push anti-gun stuff. And guess what? Here you are. You got these mayors doing it in Texas. We are specifically calling upon Governor Abbott to call a special session and add the following to the call. Require universal background checks for gun purchases. That's a registry. Increase the age to purchase assault weapons in Texas to 21. There's no such thing as an assault weapon. It's a made-up term. Pass red flag laws to identify threats before shootings. That's thought crime. Significant increase in mental health support funding. Train and properly resource school safety officers. These reforms, supported by most Texans, would have prevented the shooters in El Paso and Uvalde from obtaining their weapons. Actually, no, they wouldn't. A person hell-bent on doing evil things will get whatever tool that they will be able to carry out their stuff with. How many times have we seen around the country people drive into crowds? All our communities have supported our local law enforcement during these difficult times of civil unrest and pandemic-related violence. Pursuing gun policies that ease access to firearms makes the jobs of our first responders even more difficult, and they're referring to the constitutional carry that Texas has recently passed. Families are asking us how many more shootings must happen before we act. The communities of Uvalde, El Paso, Santa Fe, and Sutherland Springs deserve better. In response to mass shootings, Florida passed red flag laws, and we can do the same here in Texas. Well, in Florida, it's the most abused tactic in law enforcement to strip people of their weapons because they can't do it legally. So they do it unconstitutionally. In the immediacy after the shooting, state legislators specifically spoke about mental health disparities. We agree with the need to address this long-neglected area. Texas is ranked 50th in the nation for mental health care access by Mental Health America. We should do all we can to lift our state up from the bottom of this list. There have been welcome and strategic proposals presented by other state leaders regarding mental health programs, specifically for students in school. We agree that significant investments in behavioral health, several magnitudes greater than what has been mentioned, are both needed and urgent. Addressing gaps in mental health care access would require the state legislature to massively expand existing programs. This would mean more funding for school counselors, social workers, and support staff for public schools, as well as enhancing accessibility at our mental health authorities. The lack of statewide access for mental health services has caused our first responders, especially our police, to all too often to be the only response to a person in crisis. We can better support our first responders by funding mental health programs that allow for patient access and care instead of leaving law enforcement to handle these complex situations. The problem we face as a state, and that local law enforcement faces every day, is the ease in which dangerous individuals can obtain and access these weapons. Protecting the Second Amendment means passing responsible policies that a wide majority of law-abiding gun owners support. No, it doesn't, because supporting the Second Amendment, where it says shall not be infringed, means don't friggin' infringe. We cannot stand idly by while more of our fellow Texans, often our children and law enforcement officers, are laid to rest as a result of another preventable shooting. Action is the only thing that will save more lives. And these are the mayors, and this is bipartisan. These are not all liberal. Ginger Nelson of Amarillo, Mark Ross, Arlington, Steve Adler of Austin, Paulette Guajardo from Corpus Christi, Eric Johnson from Dallas, Oscar Leeser from El Paso, Maddie Parker, Fort Worth, Ron Jensen, Grand Prairie, Sylvester Turner of Houston, Pete Syons, Laredo, John Munns, Plano, Ron Nirenberg of San Antonio, and Joe Zimmerman of Sugarland. Now, I bring this to your attention because the pressure at the state level is bubbling right now. It is a boil. They saw what the Senate was able to force through, and now the states want to do the same thing. And like I told you, New York's doing it. Delaware's doing it. New Jersey's doing it. Rhode Island's doing it. Washington's done it. There are states that are pushing stuff as fast as they can. And my hope is that when we get this New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruin case here in the next couple days, whether it's going to be today or next week, that it'll stop a lot of this at the state level. But I don't hold out too much. I'm not holding my breath. We'll say that. Let me know what you think down below. If you live in Texas, what do you think about this? And what are you doing to make sure this doesn't happen? Are you calling the governor's office? Have you heard anything from the governor's office? Because I haven't seen a response as of yet. If I do hear anything that makes it look like he's going to, kowtow, I will let you know. But I don't see Greg Abbott as that type of governor. But I could be wrong. He's not my governor. Till we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a gun to keep you, your friends, your family, your community safe. That's what the Second Amendment is for. It's not for safety of people's feelings. It's not for safe spaces for people. It's not so that other people can stop fearing guns, or we're going to restrict it because they fear guns. It's not for any of that. We don't care about your feelings because our rights supersede your feelings. All of our rights, not just the Second Amendment rights. Okay? I don't think I can say it much clearer than that. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.